Go ahead and click live
I,
on Facebook.
I did. It's loading.
Okay.
Choose where you want to post your live. Yeah, share on my timeline, of course. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's it's preparing to it's preparing live streaming preview.
Okay.
Say your last name. I don't want to mess it up.
Kuei.
I thought I said it right.
How was work?
It was pretty cool. I didn't do much. I just said I work at Massage Envy. It's a massage like parlor, and
Okay.
I just work the front counter. So I was just checking people in and out like a hotel or something.
You're not the masseuse?
No.
Do you
Okay, it
get, I think,
says try the new design for going live. Not
is
now,
it,
right? Not now.
what does it say?
It says to try a new design for
No,
going
not now.
live.
Not
Oh,
now.
okay. I'm anxious.
Have you ever live streamed on Facebook?
No.
Oh man.
I'm anxious.
Ooh, this is your first time. I'm
Yeah.
breaking you. I'm breaking you in.
That's right. I wouldn't have it anyway. Another way. It's mine is frozen.
It's frozen?
Yeah.
What does it
Hold
say? Like
on.
nothing?
I'm gonna give it some time. Maybe I'm trying to rush it. So just hit go live, right?
Go live, yeah.
Um, add a title. No.
Not now.
Yeah.
All right. We are on Facebook. Say hello to all your friends, Miguel.
Hello, everybody. We're on Facebook. Just chilling podcast on Facebook Live. I cannot even see myself right now.
I can see you. You
You
are
can?
on your Facebook, all right. You look pretty handsome right there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Are we streaming live now?
We are streaming live, yes.
Okay. Are you gonna record it? Sorry. Let me know when to start.
You can start. We're recording.
Okay. All right. So this is gonna be episode 56 of the Just Chilling podcast. I'm your host Miguel, and we're on Facebook Live with Michelle Kuei. She's a life coach, speaker, and author, founder at Elevate Life Coaching. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm a confidence and leadership coach. So I live in Los Angeles and it's been pretty chilling here. So I pretty much work with negative self-talkers, and what I do is I get them to build their confidence by truly believing in themselves with their talents, with their strength. You know how a lot of times, we go through our life and we do a lot of negative self-talk. I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not strong enough, I can't lift too much weight, I can't exercise. There's a lot of negative self-talk going on in our lives. So that's my specialty. I'm an expert in that area. So I'm really happy to be here because this is actually my second time connecting with Miguel. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to Just Chilling podcast because you can actually hear my previous episode with Miguel.
Yeah, it was a good one. That's why on this episode I didn't really want to get too deep into your personal story, because all that is on that episode. So you can go to SoundCloud and listen to that episode with the Just Chilling podcast. Yeah, you hit that topic. You help negative self-talkers to believe in themselves so they can lead with confidence. I guess the first question I have for you is, do you have a cure for coronavirus? And if so, how did you get it?
So there is a cure for coronavirus, and that is you stay home. You stay home and just chill and watching or listening to Just Chilling podcast. So to answer your question seriously, there is no cure. There's treatment, however. I think your wife is a nurse too, right? Huh?
She's a massage therapist, so
Okay. Well, someone.
yeah.
So
You've been on so many podcasts lately. I'm pretty sure you ran into a nurse at some point.
yeah, so there's no treatment, there's no cure right now. We're still all waiting for the vaccines to come out, right? But there's actually treatment where we can sustain people's life a little longer, and it's all they call it the supportive care. So it's all supportive care right now. So really, the way that I believe that we can prevent from spreading is a couple of things: wash our hands, wearing our mask when you're in a close setting and close proximity with people. I think it's not only your way of protecting yourself; it's also protecting others. So because we don't know whether or not a person has it, that people can be asymptomatic, and if you come in close contact, I could be doing a lot of spitting right now and Miguel would be at risk. So the fact that we're doing this virtually is actually a good thing. um, so yeah, there's no cure. I'm sorry.
So yeah, yeah, that's fucked up. You've been on a lot of podcasts and video chats lately. So what is a topic that has been coming up more frequently lately? I guess besides the coronavirus.
Well, lots of things. So the most frequent topic that people have been asking me about is how do you cope with anxiety and how do you cope with stress? Because right now there's a lot of uncertainty. And when we are in a transition, where we're in a change, typically what that trigger is a lot of fear. So we don't know where we're going. We don't know when the reopening is going to happen. Especially now in California, we're actually going back to locking, closing a lot of they call it the non-essential, right? So the hair salon, gym got closed down again. So there's a lot of uncertainty going around, and that will create a lot of fear, stress, and just anxiety for a lot of people. When you don't know something, it's natural to have those feeling of fear and being afraid. So that's the most common topic that people have been asking me about. How do you cope with fear, stress, and just not knowing, that anxiety?
Yeah.
And so the tip that I typically share with people is that whenever you are in that being afraid of something or you have fear about something, it always helps to really sit down and look at your worst case scenario versus your best case scenario. A lot of what we're telling to ourselves are really the stories that we created in our head. So all the fear about what the future holds, sometimes we make up a lot of story. And I think, personally, I experienced this a lot, is that even before an event had happened, I already wrote a script. I wrote the whole entire storyline behind it. So it's really helpful to really sit down and look at what is real and what is not. And all these things that you believe are real, come up with a plan that you can work around it or work with it. So if it's a childcare issue, I know there's a lot of schools that's being closed, and right now I believe California is going all virtual schooling right now. So that's a lot of stress for the parents, because how am I gonna go to work when I have kids going around in the house? Who's gonna take care of them? So a couple of things that maybe come up with a way, working with your neighbors, your children, your child's friends or mother's group, dad's group, and see if you can come up with a way of helping each other out by arranging some kind of, group or something for your kids together. So that would be an idea, and that's the example of what I'm talking about. Like, you know, coming up with a plan, and just be able to work on some of the things that you feel that it's going to be true. So what is your worst case scenario, and how do you come up with a plan for your worst case scenario so that you can prepare yourself in case it does happen.
Mhm. So I'm in Alabama and you're in California. You're telling me that California is shut down right now?
A lot of stores are closed. So hairdresser, hair salons are closed. Gym, they close it down again. Restaurants only takeouts and outside dining. So you can eat out. A lot of restaurants have like created patios and benches along the sidewalk, and they're starting to dine out. There's no in restaurant dining yet.
Damn. Damn.
Yep.
So that's like a phase two or something going on right now. Would you
Yeah,
call
pretty
that? Would you
much.
call that a phase two?
Phase two, yeah, yeah. Well, phase two soft. And then so earlier today, I was actually watching the Dodgers game. Dodger is playing, so Dodger is playing against San Francisco, and it was so hilarious because I was watching the stadiums, and they have these cut out boards,
Yeah,
and
fans. Yeah, fans.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought
I
that
saw
was
that
so
too.
funny. Look at the crowd.
Yeah, I wonder where they're getting those pictures from.
You're getting
Um,
there.
huh?
You're getting
Yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Slowly but surely. So you're also a pharmacist, right?
Yes, I am. You have a lot of people watching you right now. You should say
Really?
hi.
All
Yeah.
right, hey everybody.
Say
Welcome
hi
to
to
the Just Chilling
Michelle.
podcast
Hey.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
Hey,
If you guys are
yeah.
watching this live, put down live so that we know that you are here. And if you're
I can't
doing a
respond to anything because
replay,
I can't see anybody. But
if you're doing
that's
a
not really my
replay,
focus. That's not really my focus. I'm talking to you right now, so that's what I'm gonna try to do.
and if you guys are
Um,
doing a replay, make sure you put down replay, because I'm sure Miguel would really appreciate it.
yeah. So how would you think a vaccine for the virus can help us?
I so I'm kind of I would say optimistic about the vaccines. I hope it's gonna come out soon because we all want to go back to some type of routine that we had before, right? So I think being hopeful to the vaccine and hopefully that it will actually work. But honestly, I personally don't believe in medication. When I get sick, I just fight it through. I never take like Tylenol. If I'm having a fever, yeah, then yes, I'll take care of the fever. But most of the time when I have cold, I don't really take anything at all. Now, with the vaccine,
But you're a pharmacist, though.
yes, I know it's
Okay,
ironic.
okay. That's a
I
little
know.
weird. That's a little weird, but okay, okay. We'll go by that. We'll pass by that.
So even if I get sick, if I have a cold, I just drink a lot of water and I just rest. And I think your body have a natural way of fighting back. And I don't really truly take anything at all. I don't take any painkiller at all. And it's funny because my mom actually just got a hip replacement surgery, and she has like really high level of pain tolerance, and she doesn't take whole lot of pain medication either. So I think just culture wise, I think we just have more higher level of pain tolerance. But going back to the vaccine, the fact that it is developed so soon and so fast, um, I'm kind of being very skeptical about the vaccine.
A lot
I
of
would
people
like
are.
to I would like to see more data before I say yes to myself.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
I also think about like athletes and stuff like that because people want their sports back and stuff like really fast. So, I mean, like if you're an athlete and you have it, which I'm pretty sure there are athletes that have it, like that their sports is pretty much their livelihood. So, they're probably forced to take it. I mean, I'm hoping that it works, for them, for their sake.
I think we are too, because I'm pretty much in the front line. So I think all the healthcare worker, we will be in a place where we kind of have no choice because we're taking care of the patient. So if the vaccine becomes available, I almost can guarantee that we're going to be the first one to get them.
Hmm. All right. So you're a life coach. Michelle Kuei, like I said, you got if a lot of people watching me, go friend her, go like her page right now. She's awesome. She's been very helpful to me in this show, you know. So my next question is tell us what life coaching means to you.
Life coach, it's a partnership. So a lot of people get confused in terms of, oh, you're a life coach. Can you fix me? Can you, help me with all my anxiety or depression? There's a clear distinction between being a coach and versus being a therapist. I am not a therapist. Therapists focus a lot on, your how did you get here? So we all had our journey, we all had our experience, and there's certain life experience that you went through that required the work from a therapist. So therapists can look at, a lot of clinical aspects of what led you to having these experiences, versus a coach is really focusing on our vision, our goal, and how do I get you, motivate you so that you can start taking action. And it's about partnership. So right now the sports is coming back, right? So there's baseball coach, there's football coach. And when you look at the coach in the sports arena, the coach is always there on the sideline and helping you and guiding you to play your game well. The coach is not going to run on the field and say, here, Miguel, let me carry the ball for you, right? No, the coach is going to stand on the sideline and say, hey, Miguel, what about this direction? How about that direction? Have you thought about shifting your direction so that you have a clear path? And that is what coaching is about. Coaching is about partnership. It's about giving you the laying down, the roadmap in front of you and giving you the options so that you can actually see what's in front of you more clear and have more understanding and insight in terms of which direction do I need to go in order to play the game well. So coach does not give advice. A lot of people will come to me and say, Michelle, can you give me some advice as a coach? Since you're a life coach, right? Give me some advice. So that's also another distinction. You can go to your friend and your friend will provide you with a lot of advice. But when you come to a coach, you hire them for a reason, and you hire them for the expertise that they can provide for you. And they're not there to tell you what to do. You can go to your friend and your friend would be glad to tell you what to do. How many of us have actually gone to our friend and said, hey, tell me how do I get over this bad relationship? And your friend would be like jumping in and say, listen, you just need to get over it. But whereas a coach would start working on, what is it that you cannot cope or you cannot get over, and how do you actually not seeing it as I need to get over a relationship, but rather how do you feel more present and knowing what is the best strategy to move on in your life without getting over anything. So that's a long answer, I know, but that's what life coach is for
That's a
me.
great answer. I think you can help some people with that answer right there. Is there a daily practice that goes into life coaching, or is there
Is
any
there
daily
what?
practices that you do?
Is there what?
A daily practice.
A daily practice. Well, I think everyone is different. So I can only speak for myself. So personally, I start with my day checking on social media. I am not any different than any one of you. So I have emotion, just because I'm a coach doesn't mean that I don't have any emotions and doesn't have any feeling and doesn't have any challenges. I do. So the first thing I wake up is typically I would kind of score what's on my social media, and I update. So I have a lot of like Facebook, Instagram, and I have a lot of social media. So I update all my audience with some type of motivational quotes or inspiration for them that comes to my mind. I find that most of the time in the morning, I'm a very morning person. So I wake up, I'm already motivated. I wanted to share my thoughts first. And then I move on to getting my breakfast. And after my breakfast, I sit down on a corner of my room. I set myself up for a meditation section where I can meditate. And I don't do like the whole hour of meditation. I just close my eye for 5 minutes real quick and just kind of center myself and just let my mind, completely quiet sometimes. And then I loved the essential oil. So I use a little bit of essential oil to help me to get into the mood. And after the meditation, I usually come to my desk and I start do a little bit of journaling. I love journaling because I think writing things down is a great way to do a bit of reflection, self-reflection, and also just kind of plan my day out and see what I wanted to do for the day. And then I open my calendar and typically I would start taking phone calls from the clients and we start working. And I do a lot of live streaming too. So, and podcast
Hey, you're a
interview
pro.
and
Yeah,
podcast
yeah.
interview.
We're happy to have you. Yeah, that's. I would recommend everyone to try to do some type of meditation. I do it myself, different parts of the day. I don't think there's nothing bad about that. So I would encourage people to look into meditation and trying it. So you said sports are starting back up. And we see that sports are starting back up. Baseball started this week. What do you think about professional sports starting back up?
I think it's a great thing for many of us because I think America culture is built on sports. There's not a single place that you go to, people do not talk about sports. Whether it's baseball, football, hockey, I think Canadians are more into hockeys. Anywhere that you go, people are talking about sports, soccer. All the kids I know, they play soccer, tennis. Everybody talk about something, a sport. So I think it's really rooted in our culture. So the fact that on the weekend, if we don't have any sports channel, if we don't have any sports to talk about on Monday, that really is a big trigger for a lot of people, having that it throw them off because that's really they've been so used to having that conversation, seeing their friend on Monday and talk about sports, and suddenly you are not only are you social distancing, but also you don't have that aspects of conversation going on. And that's how we're connected to each other, through the conversation, through sports, through fashions, through the TV, all of that. And that's how we relate to each other in a conversation. So that in itself, I think sports really played an essential role in our culture, that we were able to bond to each other, to relate to each other, and have a decent conversation with each other without getting into the politics and all that conflicts things going on. So sports is essential. I love football.
Yeah, yeah,
I can't wait till the football season comes.
yeah. A lot of people miss it around here too. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're a pharmacist. You're in the pharmacy field, and there's a question I came up with that I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be interested in, and I'm glad that we're on Facebook so they can hear it.
You have a
So
friend who said, Palm Tree Cannon, he says sports bring human together. I couldn't agree more. It does.
yeah, that's my
Yeah.
brother-in-law, man. Shout out to Palm Tree, man.
Oh,
Um, yeah. What do you think about legalizing marijuana in the pharmacy field? How would that work? I know it's legal some places, but how would that work? Just personal.
I don't know, man. You're giving me a lot of like challenging questions tonight, huh? I see that you came prepared. so
Yeah, yeah,
so my view on the marijuana, I believe there's a place, medicinal use. It definitely give a lot of cancer patient that option because a lot of their pain is really uncontrolled, and it really helps them to control that pain. Um, I think by legalizing it, it actually, you know how we all have this rebellion inner self in us. The more that I tell you not to do something, more chance that you are going to do that. And I think that's just by human nature. We will do whatever we were told not to do. And same thing, and I see this all the time when our friends give us advice, oh, don't do that, and what do? You do it anyway, right? And so I think by legalizing it, it becomes, it's out there just like cigarette smoking, right? So no, people no longer have that curiosity, wanted to find out more. What is it? What does it feel like? Or, can I sneak behind my parents and just have a little sip of it and just enjoy it? There's no that there's you eliminate that curiosity that's hanging out there. It's no longer something that you need to be curious. But I think legalizing it would definitely help the cancer population, because they are the one who can benefit the most, and those who's abusing them, unfortunately, if we find one abuse in marijuana, we can actually find a lot of abuse in so many different things. So I think it's all comes down to each individual's consciousness, their level of consciousness. If you tell me, hey, Michelle, I have marijuana here, have a sip, I would be thinking, no, I don't want it. I, I'm not curious about what it tastes like or
Yeah, we're
what
on
it
Facebook,
feels like.
Michelle. You smoke marijuana. You ain't gonna sip it. You smoke it.
You smoke.
You smoke
See, I
it.
don't, I don't even know the term, and I have no interest of knowing. So, like all my life, I have college friends who've done it. They were smoking it, but like for me, it was just I don't need to know. And I think it really comes down to individual level of consciousness. If you
No, you're right.
are
You're right.
if you are going to choose something, then you are going to choose it. And it's all about choice. The choices that we make every single day. You get to choose how you want to play with your life. How do you want to show up in your life? You can show up being an alcoholic. You can show up being a drug addict, and you can show up being a social media addict. There's a lot of addiction that's going on, and all these addiction come down to you made a choice in your life. And if this is what you want for your life, then so be it. And I would really hope that if you do choose to become some type of addict, whether it's social media, alcohol, or smoking, whatever addiction that you decide to choose, I hope that was made based on a very conscious choice.
Yeah. No, that's well said. I was gonna say that I was thinking, but like I said, if you're addicted, you're addicted. But some people might use it as a coping mechanism, but that's still a road to addiction, though. So I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there.
It's always, addiction is always a coping and escape mechanism. There's always something that we don't want to see. We don't, it's just too much for us to deal with, right? Stress, we're being stressful at work. We come home, we want to just tap out. We wanted to have really relaxed. So this is why people go to the refrigerator, grab a beer, and just kind of knock ourselves out, because it's an easy way to feel relaxed. But instead of looking at, how do I address what is causing the stress, we immediately go to the easy solution. It's like a push of a button. We want to push the button and then it solves everything. But unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. Life actually require you, and it's going to keep challenging you to actually face your worst fear and face all your stress until you actually learn the lessons in life. And that's what
Daily,
how life
daily,
works.
daily.
Yep.
Have you been doing any speaking during the COVID-19 stuff lately? And how have you
Oh,
been?
I'm like speaking right now. I'm doing speaking all over. Oh my gosh. It's like
You
um
have, you have, you've been
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. And a lot of it, I think, started in April when we first went to lockdown. And luckily for me, so I created this whole business online remotely. So I've been doing this online since the very beginning in 2018. And when it first got locked down, I had so many podcast requests, because suddenly everyone is on podcast. Everyone wants to start a podcast. Everyone is getting ready for a podcast. So they all reach out to me and they're like, Michelle, we need you on the show. Michelle, when is your available date? So I've been on a lot of podcasts. I've been on a couple of live events. So there's a few on Instagram where I was doing live and I was talking about anxiety and also how do you cope with stress and fear. And I went to Nigeria. So one of my friend, he found me on LinkedIn and we connected on LinkedIn and we ended up doing a live. And he was located in Nigeria, so I went to Nigeria. So it's actually pretty nice to do it virtually, and I can travel internationally.
Yeah.
Um, and recently, I've been speaking at the Lions Club. Well, Lions Club is coming up on Monday, and then so there's Rotary Club I spoke at, and yeah, it's been everywhere.
Yeah. I've been getting requests all over the place too. Everybody want me on their podcast, and I'm nah.
Yeah, it's like, wait, let me look at my schedule first.
Yeah. um, how would you know if you need to if someone needed your services? How would someone know if they need a life coach in their life?
So you don't know what you don't know until you find out that you don't know. So should I say that again? You don't know what you don't know until you found out that you don't know. So a lot of people come to me because they reach to a point in their life where they notice that things aren't working out. So they keep running into a pattern, or they keep seeing a pattern of behavior or challenges that just keep showing up in their life, and they just went above and beyond and trying to figure out what to do and how to resolve it and how to take care of the problem, but the problem just it appears that there's no solution. So it feels like that they are trapped. It feels like they are trapped in a place in their life where they're just going into circle and you're just seeing the problem over and over again. So a lot of people, they would say, for example, if you have a friend who always come to you and that person is always negative, it's always dramatic, and you notice that you keep attracting these type of people in your life, and typically there's a reason for that. So the way that our brain and our the way that our circle of friend works is that the energy that you put out, the vibration that you put out, you attract the people who come into your life. So if you are the type of person who notice that you've been attracting a lot of these negative people, or people who are dramatic, then it's not about them. It's about you putting out those energy and attracting them into your life. So if if you're tired of hearing these negative people, two things that you can do. You can send them to me so I can I can take care of them for you, or you can actually come to me because we need to talk about the vibration that you are sending out, and you keep attracting these negative people into your life. And typically there's a reason why you keep seeing all the negativity, all the dramas, and all these unfortunate events in your life, because there's something that's not working out for you, and therefore they keep showing up in your life. So
Damn.
yeah, two things that you can do. You can send them to me, I will take care of them for you, or you can come to me.
Damn. Yeah.
So,
Michelle
so
Kuei,
who do
y'all.
you know?
Michelle.
Who do you know has been a lot of like, like you're telling them, I'm done with you, man. I'm done.
Yeah. No, that's great. I'm telling you, y'all need to go follow her and go like her page, man. That's some good stuff right there. So I'm done picking your brain about, that was pretty much all I had to talk about as far as that goes. But when me and you were conversing about getting this episode done, we swapped movies. I wanted you to watch a
A
movie.
Miles. So we were watching A Miles,
I
right?
wanted you to
You
watch a
told me about,
movie,
yeah, you
and
told me about 8 Miles.
you told me about Wonder.
Wonder, yes.
That's a great
Mm-hmm.
movie. Now you can get into 8 Mile first, because that's like one of my favorite underdog story movies. One of my favorite, just anytime like type of movie. I love 8 Mile.
Yeah, I thought 8 Miles was really interesting, because it I'm watching it in a very timely time, right? Because we have all these racism going around. We have all these discrimination going around. And most of the time when we talk about racism and discrimination, we're talking about, you know, I'm a person of color and I'm being discriminated by, Caucasian or white, and I feel discriminated. But what's interesting with 8 Miles is you have a white guy who's living in a neighborhood that is, I believe it was Chicago, right?
That's Detroit. Detroit.
Detroit, yes. So he was surrounded by people of color, and for him, he became the minority. But yet, what's really interesting is, regardless the color of our skin, we all have talent. We all have strength, right? So one of the biggest, can't remember what's his name, Eminem.
Eminem, yeah.
Yeah. So he was playing the movie, and he is a great rapper, hip hop rapper, right? And by the way, and people don't know that, maybe we shared it in your last episode. I grew up in New York, so I'm really familiar with the rap culture and hip hop. Um, so he has a lot of talent in becoming the rapper, but because of the color of his skin, when you're in the rapper world, when you're in the hip hop world, you become the minority. And who do you think you are for coming to the, was it the shelter, right? It was the
Yeah, the
shelter.
shelter.
Yeah, coming into the shelter and thinking that you're gonna win me. I'm like, the rapping is like it's in my blood. So who are you to come in here onto my stage and claim to be a rapper? Like, I don't think of, right? But that's how the society, that's how our culture is built upon, because we base on our talent by the look, by our skin color, by our beliefs, by everything else except recognizing your talent, recognizing your strength. What if this person just really talented? Can you look beyond their color, beyond their culture background, beyond their, what family, what type of family they came from, what level of social status they were born? What if you were to look beyond that? It makes no difference. You and I are the same. We have same feelings, thoughts, ideas. My inspiration become yours. It doesn't discriminate anybody. Our talent, our strength does not discriminate anybody. And it's the people discriminate each other.
Mm. You enjoyed it?
I really did. I did. See, I can't stop talking about it.
No, no, no. That's what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to, speak on it because I was going to speak on Wonders when you got done.
Yeah, tell me how you feel about
Yeah,
Wonder.
I felt like that's an important movie. It's got Owen Wilson and Julia Roberts. I was telling a friend, I was like, well, the um the poster for the movie, it doesn't look very inviting, but the movie Wonder is a really good movie, and I wouldn't have never watched it if you didn't tell me to.
Yeah,
And
Trina said you watch Wonder without me, and she's all crying. Who's Trina?
that's my wife.
Oh,
She was asleep last night, and yeah, I did watch it. I was laying right next to her watching it.
yeah, she's crying now. She's crying on your Facebook.
I'm sorry, Trina. It's the movie Wonder. It's about a boy, Augie. August has had multiple surgeries on his body and face, and is starting in sixth grade away from his home school. Um, that's a very important time in any kid's life, starting in middle school and stuff like that. And for him to be homeschooled his whole life, the movie did a great job of showing how important that was to everybody around him as well as himself. So
Did you
my
cry?
biggest take, huh?
Did you cry?
Well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. um, my biggest takeaway and appreciation of the movie was he did a good job of presenting August just as a normal person. Like, yeah, he's had all these surgeries and he doesn't look like all of the kids around him. But if you the movie takes you to his house, it takes you to him playing and stuff like that. He's in the Star Wars, he's in the space and stuff like he's just like any other kid. And he likes the same stuff as the rest of the other kids in the school do. But when he goes to school, I mean, people they stare, they stand away. He even got into some bullying with two groups of kids. I want to say two kids were bullying him at his school and whatnot. So I just feel like the movie did a good job of just portraying a lot of that stuff on all the fronts. And I definitely would recommend this movie again to and, to my listeners and friends. But I did have a question though. I always find a way to bring a question out of it. What did you think about Augie's mom making that tough decision to send her son to regular school? Knowing what's going to happen, because that took a lot of courage. If you ask me.
So what comes up to my head or to my mind is the cruel intention, right? Cruel intention. And I think I was thinking and relating it back to my life and how my parents never saw me differently. They always saw me as this regular kid and this kid who just going to have a normal life. Like they didn't treat me any differently because of my disability. They saw me for me. So throughout my whole entire school and education, they never sent me and said, well, Michelle, maybe we need to put you in a like a special education school. And my mom actually fought through not to put me in a special ed, because when I first got into this country, when I first went to the high school, one of the administrators, she said, well, she doesn't belong here, she should be in special education. And my mom fought through it. My mom said, no, she does not belong to special education, she belongs right here, and you are going to admit her right here. And mind you, she didn't speak English at all. So all of this, we did it in another language. My aunt had to translate all that. And then, they finally admitted me. So I related that movie.
It probably took that to admit you, because if your mom didn't fight for you and didn't prove to you that you belong, or fought for you that you belong, they were going to do that to you.
And I believed it. So I think I relate that whole movie, The Wonder, to my own personal life experience. And I cried so many times because it's really, just because someone look different or someone may appear a little physically different, you don't treat that person any differently. That person has the same level of intelligence as you and I. So the fact that his mom, Augie's mom, sent him to a regular school, I applaud her for that. And I think it's as cruel as it may seem or feel, I thought it was the most appropriate decision for a parent to make. And as a parent, you don't, and I don't have any kids, so I think you do, right?
Yeah.
You don't ever see your child any differently. You see them for who they are, and you want them to grow up having that normal life, and you probably want to give them more, all the things that you didn't have or you didn't get a chance to have. So I thought it was the most appropriate things that any parents can do. What really touched me about that movie was Augie, when he first got into the school, he refused to take the helmet down. And part of it, you already touched on it, because a lot of kids, they were bullying him, and they were laughing at him, making fun of him once he took the helmet off. I think it actually fell off one day and they were all laughing at him. And it's really hurtful for a child. And I think children, they're really honest. They're honest and they don't really hide their feelings. So for them to actually laugh and, it's a true reflection of how they're seeing. But, at the same time, it's really hurtful for the kid, for Augie. And again, I relate that to my own personal experience where I was being laughed at or stared at, and it was just, it's not a good feeling to be in a position to be judged by someone. So here's a good thing though. I believe every unfortunate event or everything that doesn't look good, there's always goodness within them. So as much as I hate people judging me, there's a good piece of it, or good lessons that I have learned because of the fact that people were judging me. It allowed me to cultivate and to develop my empathy towards others. I understand what it would feel like to be in a position where you're being looked at, you're being stared, you're being laughed at, you're being judged. I am more aware of not to do the same to others, and using that empathy, that skills that I had developed because people were looking at me, because people were judging at me. So, despite the fact that, yes, there's a lot of challenge, there's a lot of struggles, there's a lot of things that no one would wish to happen to anyone in their lifetime. But at the same time, there's always a reason why we had to go through it. It's because we had to learn something out of it, and we get something out of it. So if anyone who's experiences this pandemic, having that fear or having that anxiety, having that moment of you don't know where things are going, always know that this is happening for a reason. And there's a lesson for us, for everyone to learn from this experience. And so, just be grateful and practice our empathy towards each other.
Hmm. And I just want to say, like, about the movie Wonder, it was just a lesson about how to deal with people who appear to be different. I feel like they did a good job. Even the bullies like came around. That's why I said that's what I was gonna bring up. You was like, when did I cry? Like even when I didn't even cry that much. It was just a little bit. It was
Just a little bit. All right, man.
but when they went on the little field trip, like I just he was going through a lot, and I think him and his friend they left the movie and they went out to play in the woods or whatnot, and those kids cornered them and were beating them real bad, and just when the bullies from his school showed up and helped them fight off the bullies. Yeah, I did feel something
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
you were practicing your empathy right there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was
And then
empathy.
there's also a message about tolerance, acceptance, understanding, and respect. It's just a good movie. That's why I say I feel like it. As many things they put in there, I just feel like it made it whatever they put in there made it an important movie. Um, yeah, just man. And I was gonna say I thought it would get cheesy and corny, but right when it did, they kind of fixed it. They didn't get too cheesy at all. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
I was pleased. Yeah,
I
and
actually got the book. After I watched the
yeah,
movie, I got the book. Yeah.
it's based on a book. Yep, I need
Hmm.
to read the book. Yeah. So I mean, I have one more question left for you. Michelle, hey, y'all go follow her, man. She's awesome. She's been good to the Just Chilling podcast. We love you. We appreciate you being here, giving us your time tonight. Um, just we have you again down the road. But you posted about loving yourself today. How would you describe the best way to love yourself?
The best way to love yourself. So everyone is different, and we all have different definition of loving ourselves, right? So and it changes from moment to moment. There is no right way or wrong way of loving yourself. It's about giving yourself the permission to be in the state where you feel happiness, joy, and fulfillment and purposeful. So to me, right now, maybe a glass of wine, that is a way of me loving myself this present moment. Tomorrow I may pick something else. I may pick reading a book. That's the way I love myself. So it changes from day to day, and someday there's easier day and there's worse day, right? So on the worst day, you wanted to give yourself permission to cry, to permission to feel the emotion that's coming up. If you need to throw yourself a pity party, throw yourself a pity party and invite all your friends to come over and have a great party together. Enjoy that pity party. So the idea of loving yourself is honoring yourself for how you're feeling in that moment. And whatever that feels right, if it's a bubble bath, so be it. If it's meditation, meditation it is. If it is hanging out with your friends and enjoying and having a good time, so that's the way that you love yourself. So loving yourself has so many different form and different shape and different ways. There is no right or wrong way to do it. It's all about, can you honor your authenticity?
Mhm. And we're gonna have this video on YouTube, so if you will hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, support the channel podcast on YouTube. We need that. So yeah, Michelle Kuei, guys. I don't know how we're gonna do this, you know, setting it up and everything like that, but I had fun. I really appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's great. I had a great conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, it was
And
awesome.
don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube and the bell. Make sure you hit the bell. So next time
Oh,
Miguel is live, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wow. So we
Uh,
got good.
uh, yeah, you gotta stop streaming though. So guys, I'm teaching him how to live stream on Facebook. So go to the three dots, and you're gonna see stop streaming.
Okay,
You
I
see
see
it?
it.
Yeah.
All right, tell everybody bye.
Bye.
All right, so is that it?